In any goal that we set out to do, there's always a 50-50 chance of us either succeeding or failing. The same is true when starting a business. We could either launch a successful business or end up with a flop one. Starting a business would always entail risks. That's why budding entrepreneurs are often taught to follow a formula, which for many would lead them to the path of success. And that is to draft a business plan, find investors, build a team to make the product, and then sell it. Unfortunately, this formula does not seem to work for everyone all the time. In this book, Ries introduces a new approach to launching startups, which he calls the lean startup. In this approach, young entrepreneurs are taught the essential things needed in order to develop a product that will surely satisfy their customers and accelerate the growth of their business. Here are 7 lessons from the book The Lean Startup. Lesson 1. Create a system. One of the reasons why startups fail is the lack of a management process. Some startups seem to just execute whatever comes to their mind, making their plans disorganized. In the lean startup approach, companies are advised to establish a system or order in how they do things. Following a management system will be beneficial in guiding their actions and in making sure that everything that they do is synchronized to achieve their goals. Lesson 2. Sketch a business model canvas. One of the things that differentiates startups from established businesses is that the latter adopts a business model, while startups are still looking for one. Startups are just like kids, still exploring the world, getting to know themselves until they find their niche. So when startups spend a lot of time looking for a business model which they could adopt, they're actually wasting their time. What the lean startup approach suggests is that they should sketch a business model first. This is like crafting a framework or a working hypothesis that they aim to test. Startups may revise their business model from time to time, but this is okay, since they're still trying out what would work best for them. Lesson 3. Get feedback. For startups to test their hypothesis or framework, they should gather as much feedback as possible. This is what the lean startup approach calls as customer feedback. Startups should ask their target market, their partners, and even the team members regarding what they think about the product, their experiences in using it, and their possible suggestions to improve it. Gathering feedback from others will help the startup make necessary revisions in their product and their strategies, and present it again for feedback. Creating a product by phases and presenting it for feedback from time to time is actually more effective than completing a product altogether before presenting it for feedback. By constantly soliciting feedback, even during the process of product development, the team could already make necessary adjustments to improve the product. Lesson 4. Know when to pivot. Sometimes the feedback that we get from people may not push us further to the direction we want. There may be problems along the way that would totally change our direction. The lean startup approach follows a build, measure, learn feedback loop. This means that when they encounter a roadblock, they develop an MVP, or a minimum viable product, so that they process and analyze the problem right away. The sooner they do this, the earlier they can solve the problem. However, startups should also learn to recognize whether the signs are telling them to go on, to pause, or to stop. If it seems that they're not making any progress despite efforts made, then perhaps it's time that they take a pivot and make significant restructuring of their product, strategy, or goals. Lesson 5. Design a clear metric. One tool that could also help startups make the most of the feedback they get from people is to have a clear metric or system of measurement on how to assess their product and their progress. Startups need to monitor their progress, so there should be a way to measure it. Effective metrics possess 3 characteristics: actionable, accessible, and auditable. One example is the use of split experiments, where they offer different versions of the same product to different groups. By doing this, they would be able to compare the feedback, know what works best, and make necessary changes. Lesson 6. Learn to adapt and to grow. Setbacks encountered by those in the business should not drain out all their hopes and dreams. Problems are common, but they should not dictate our future. What the lean startup approach tells us is to learn how to adapt and grow in all of our experiences, both the good and the bad. When problems happen, we could ask ourselves, what could we do to prevent this from happening again in the future? The answer to this question may require us to undergo some training and retooling so that we can better adapt to our current circumstances and be more equipped to face another hurdle. Lesson 7. Think of sustainability. Launching the business is just the first part in startups. After that is another challenging phase, which is ensuring the growth and sustainability of our business venture. Whether a business would be sustainable or not depends on the products and services it offers. In this case, our customers play a big role. Customers could drive sustainable growth for the business, either through word of mouth, through funded advertising, or through repeated purchase and use. Thus, we have to ensure that all the products and services we offer would be valued by our target market in all seasons of their lives. In conclusion, the lean startup approach offers a new yet practical method of launching a business and making sure that it works. The strategies offered in the book are not just useful for young entrepreneurs, but for anybody who's in this field. It inspires us to create a vision for ourselves and our business, to put in the hard work and grow through our experiences, and to find ways on how we could accelerate our business. Thank you for listening. If you like the book summary and you want to see more in this category, please like and subscribe so I can create more. You can also get a free copy of the entire audiobook by clicking the link in the description. Until next time.